One thing that a lot of companies are lacking, but they don't think they're lacking, is a really clear value proposition and a really clear message. I'd love to talk to you about why you think that is and what the process is like to go about getting your message more clear.
Right. So I think that a lot of companies like to sell their products. They like to sell what they do. And as you said, a value proposition is important to a company's success.
Mhm.
But before you dive into actually formulating your value proposition, I think it's important to start with something that Simon Sinek coined as the golden circle. You definitely want to include the what you do. It's the products that you sell, the services that you provide, and then move on to the how. The how is how you do the things that you do. It's what sets you apart, makes you special, differentiates you from your competition.
Mhm.
And finally, end up with your why. This is the most important part of a company's success. It's the very reason that your organization exists. The why is the most important message that you can communicate because it's truly what inspires others to action and hits that emotional button within an individual and inspires them to action. So again, I going back to your original question, why is it that some fail in this area? It's because they're starting with the what and they're
Mhm.
communicating that what, but they're not communicating the why or starting with that why.
Yes.
Once you've successfully articulated your why, it now becomes that powerful tool in helping you to define your value proposition.
Yes, absolutely. And I think so many focus, just like you said, on the what. And it's features, features, features. Here's what we do. Don't you want our product? And
Mhm.
it's like, well, no, I don't care about your product at all. It's very, you have to really go through like that dating, get to know you type stage and understand the why and get to know the company, why they do what they do, and really believe in them before you want to spend money on a product or a service.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's important to think back to maybe your childhood, think back to some of the brands that you may have formed an emotional bond with. You may not think it's an emotional connection, but if you think, why are you buying maybe the cereal brands that you buy? It's maybe
Mhm.
because you have this emotional memory or an emotional connection to that specific brand. The same case is here in that value proposition and making sure that you have that emotional connection and you articulate that why clearly.
I swear I have an emotional connection to so many of the tools we use. And you hear me talk about them all the time. I become like a super user fangirl where I'm just telling everyone, you need this product, you need this product. And that is what you want to evoke out of your messaging and what it's like to use your product. And so many companies miss that right up front with a message that doesn't make sense.
Right. I completely agree.
So, once you've gone through that process of evoking the emotion and figuring out what your value proposition is, talking about the why, the how, instead of just the what, how do you successfully translate that to a web presence?
Sure. So I think that it's most important that it value proposition holds a prominent space on your websites. And I would typically recommend to my clients that it's displayed on the homepage above the folds, particularly right in the header. This is where you're going to grab attention and grab it quickly. As humans by nature, we form opinions very quickly and we're often on the go or we're looking at things very quickly. And if I can't figure out what a company does within the first few seconds of hitting their website or figure out why it's beneficial to me and why should I even care? And if I can't get that emotional bonds with your brand, I'm going to leave quickly.
Mhm.
So it's important that it's on the homepage and perhaps displayed throughout other very prominent pages. If you have sub pages dedicated to a particular audience, if you sell into multiple audiences, definitely making sure it's right there at the top, no scrolling needed.
Mhm. And I think it's your value proposition and then translating that into how it applies to each of those audiences and why it matters to them specifically.
Right, 100%. And I think too, one thing that you can't forget is you can make these claims, you can articulate your why, you can have your value proposition prominently displayed, but what you need to do next is make sure that you're backing it up. You need to own that value proposition. You now need to prove to them why they should believe you. What you can do to properly communicate that is through statistics, through testimonials, through case studies, um, showing how others have found you to be good for them.
Yeah, or even getting them to tell others
Mm,
why through reviews or video testimonials or whatever it may be. So,
yeah.
yes, I definitely agree with you on that.